So I've been using the iPhone 14 Pro since release, and there is a lot to share about this phone. I wanted to share what I think about the phone, share my favorite accessories, some of my favorite and most used apps, as well as talk about the camera. So let's start with the design of the phone. I have the standard iPhone 14 Pro here in space black. I just prefer the size of this over the Pro Max. This is the 128GB model. Now, many will be wondering if the 128GB model will be enough, if it will be enough storage. And I think it is. For my personal use case, I take a lot of photos as well, take a lot of videos, but I used iCloud storage and I use sort of the auto backup sort of feature when it comes to photos and videos. And yeah, 128GB is definitely enough, because if I don't have storage on my phone, it automatically offloads stuff off my phone and puts it into iCloud storage. So yes, awesome. Would highly recommend it. I think it's just a great way to save some money. And I don't think a lot of people actually necessarily need the higher capacity options. This space black version may be one of my favorite iPhone colors ever. It is similar to space gray from last year, but it can appear darker depending on the light. And the stainless steel band around the edges is also much darker. I think it looks awesome. I've said it in the past, but something I always like to mention is that iPhones just feel like pieces of jewelry, specifically these models, the sort of Pro models. Because of the glass, because of the stainless steel, the metal, the finish, even the edges and stuff, it just feels like a very high-end piece of jewelry. And I feel like that's what makes it feel special and valuable. And I just feel like it's not something you get with other manufacturers. By the way, for anyone interested in the wallpaper, it's from my Space Collection wallpaper pack. I'll leave it linked down in the description below. The dynamic island. So this was a very controversial feature when it first launched, but now I feel like the dynamic island has just become sort of accepted. It's just become a thing of the iPhone. It's great to see so many apps using it nowadays. I actually don't even notice that it's there half the time. And I think that's a good sign, because at first I was worried that I would really notice it, that it would get in the way. But yeah, from day-to-day use, I don't even notice that it's there, and it works really well with some apps. When it comes to accessories that I use with my iPhone, the first one is of course the case. I'm using the Apple leather case right now. I do switch between quite a few cases, especially the ones from Spigen and from other companies. But yeah, I'm using the Apple leather case, and this is the Umber one. And you can see it has aged and patinaed quite aggressively. This case has. The edges have gotten much darker. Now, some people will like that. Some people will hate it, which I completely understand. You can even see here actually where I rest my index finger when I'm using the phone. You can see it sort of like faded there as well. That's what happens with real leather, with natural leather. It is going to age, it is going to mark up, it is going to change color over time. You can clean it with leather cleaner, you can oil it if you like as well, but I've just kept it completely standard. I really like it, but I do think I still prefer when it was brand new. I just think, you know, one of those things where when it looks brand new, it looks really nice, but even over time as it's aged, I still do like it. And the reason why I chose this over, say, black this time around is because I had black last year, and they don't actually technically do black this year. They do sort of like a midnight color, which is almost like a very, very dark blue. So I thought I'd try umber instead. And yeah, I think it's an awesome case. MagSafe accessories, I've also pretty much just taken over everything when it comes to what I use with my iPhone. All of my chargers at home are now MagSafe. I have chargers at the office as well, chargers at home, chargers on my bedside table and stuff like that. I've changed them all to MagSafe now. Most of the chargers that I use are from Native Union. There's something about the Native Union chargers that just ooze sort of class and luxury. There's something about them that just feels high end, and they're really well designed as well. The one I have at the office is really useful. It charges my phone, my AirPods, and my Apple Watch all at once. So yeah, super useful to have on my desk. I like having MagSafe chargers everywhere, and it just makes it easy to charge my phone. I just slap it on, take it off whenever I need to use it. I really do like MagSafe and use it a lot more than I thought I would. I also wanted to quickly mention when it comes to the MagSafe battery that I'm using this one from Anker. Since I bought it though, I think they have released a few new ones, but yeah, this is the one I currently have. When it comes to my home screen setup, I have simplified it quite a lot now. I've actually gotten rid of most of the apps that I have on my home screen. I've now simplified the home screens to two screens. I have my main screen where I have my calendar, any upcoming events that I might have, and then some of the apps that I use quite often. And then on the second screen, I have a few other random stuff, two other widgets, my sleep widget to see how much time I'm sleeping, and then my food shop sort of widgets that I can keep track of any groceries that I need to get. But yeah, super simplified. I just like it like this now. I don't want to mess around too much with customizing and doing anything crazy with my home screens. I just want to keep it super simple. When it comes to my favorite apps, Lightroom is by far one of the apps that I use on my phone a lot. Lightroom I use to edit all of my pictures that I shoot on this device. And the great thing about Lightroom is that it syncs the photos across to my Mac as well. And yeah, because I shoot in Pro Raw, I'll just import a picture into Lightroom, make any adjustments, you know, exposure, whatever it is, slap a preset on, and that's it. The pictures just look awesome nearly every time, nearly every time. But yeah, Lightroom is my main photo editing app right now. Next up, I have Sofa, who are kindly sponsoring this video. So if you're someone who loves movies, TV shows, podcasts, video games, and other similar things, Sofa is an awesome app to organize all of your favorites. It's basically a hub for all of your favorite things. So when you open the app, this is what you see first. You can see any lists that you have. So I have lists for apps, books, games, movies, TV shows, and things to listen to. So yeah, in here, any movies or TV shows that I want to collect or that I've already seen or whatever, I can add them here. And you can easily add a new list as well. So I can just go to add, let's call this TV shows, like so, create. I can go to TV shows, add a TV show in here, movies and TV. Let's search for Succession, search, one of my favorite TV shows right now. And I can add that to the TV shows list, and there we are, and that is in my list. And I can add more shows here if I want to. It's just a good way to sort of curate and collect all of my sort of favorite media stuff that I have going on right now. Make sure to check it out. Most of Sofa is free, but if you use my link, you can get a 1-week free trial of Super Sofa. And when looking at the ratings as well, I'm not the only one that likes this app. There are 1,700 ratings on the App Store, and it's rated at 4.7 stars, which is incredible. So yeah, make sure to check out Sofa. Spark is my current email app of choice, mainly because I have so many inboxes that I need to manage, and Spark seems to be the one that can do that for me. I used to absolutely love Spark. I used to highly recommend it, but right now I feel like there's a few bugs in it, especially in the desktop app. Yeah, it's not completely perfect right now. So I don't recommend it as much, but it is the app that I'm using. I've not really found anything else better to manage my emails. One key feature with Spark that I really like is that you can block people. So if I'm constantly getting emails from someone, maybe marketing emails, or maybe I'm getting spam or something like that, I can just block that sender and that domain completely, entirely, which is awesome. Such a useful feature to have, and I feel like more inboxes should have it. Pinterest. So I use Pinterest more than even I realized. I mainly use it to find inspiration for pretty much anything and everything. I'll go there to look for things like interior design inspiration and ideas, all the way to outfit ideas. I actually feel like it's a pretty underrated app, because when you really think about it, there is nothing else out there like it. Dropbox and iCloud storage. So Dropbox is the app that I use primarily for work when it comes to sort of documents and videos, especially like short form content or whatever. Just managing anything work related, I use Dropbox for. Highly recommend Dropbox. I think it's very well integrated with iOS, with Mac and stuff like that. So one thing I would like to say, and one thing I do recommend, is don't sleep on the default apps, because the default apps that come with iOS are more powerful than most people realize. I feel as though a lot of people get tied up into finding the best browser replacement, the best camera replacement, the best notes replacement, or something like that. Now, of course, I'm someone who loves to use Notion when it comes to work related stuff, but I only mainly keep it for work related stuff because I can share Notion with my team. But when it comes to actually personal notes and things that I want to jot down or just collect or maybe put together something, I use the Notes app that comes with iOS, that comes with Mac, because the Notes app is actually really good and does most of the stuff that most people would expect. Same goes with the Reminders app, the Calendar app, the Camera app. These apps I feel like you don't really need to get replacements for. They do 99% of what most people need them to do. Now onto what I think is the most important feature of this phone, and by far what I use the most on it, is the camera. It actually gets me excited thinking about next year's iPhone, because I'm really hoping that the camera is even better. With the larger 48 megapixel sensor on the main camera, some of the pictures that come out of this thing are just incredible. I pretty much only stick to the main camera on the back of the phone. I don't like to use the ultra wide or the telephoto unless I absolutely have to. Primarily because the main camera sensor produces the cleanest image due to the sensor being physically the largest. In simple terms, the bigger the sensor behind a camera, the cleaner the images are, and the more they look like they've come out of a professional camera. However, there has been one big issue that's been cropping up a lot with the iPhone 14 Pro camera, and that is the fact that the pictures that come out of this thing by default are just heavily over-processed. One way I've been personally avoiding this is by just simply shooting in ProRAW and then editing the pictures afterwards. I did a whole video on what I think are the correct iPhone camera settings to get the best pictures out of your iPhone. You should definitely check that out if you haven't already. It's already become one of my most popular videos on the channel. But to make it easy, what I simply do is I change the setting to ProRAW and then leave pretty much everything else in auto. Even when shooting in ProRAW and then looking at the picture in the Photos app, it can still look overly processed. So I usually bring the photos into Lightroom let Lightroom do the processing, make some adjustments to maybe the highlights and the shadows, and then finally apply a preset to get a certain look. Then they usually look incredible. I actually purposely make sure my images don't have perfect highlights and shadows, otherwise the image just looks too HDR-like, which I'm not a fan of. It's very much a sort of stylistic choice. I absolutely love photography, so I'm always willing to take these extra steps to get the images looking the way I like. It's amazing how many photos I've shared on Instagram or Twitter, and some people just can't figure it out if I've shot it with an iPhone or a professional mirrorless camera. And when that happens, you know the iPhone is able to take great pictures. Due to the larger sensor, we also get more focus fall off when shooting something close to the lens, and the bokeh is so nice and natural looking. I never shoot in portrait mode. I actually avoid it completely as I'm not a fan of the fake bokeh. I'm going on vacation soon. I'm going to a few different places and I'm really looking forward to using it more to take more photos and videos and just have those memories, because obviously the best camera that you have is the one that's always on you. So where to from here? I honestly don't know what else Apple can do with the iPhone. You know, when it comes to year-to-year updates, there's only so many features you can add. There's only so many new things you can add. I feel like what's going to end up happening is that every year we're just going to see a bigger and bigger camera bump, bigger and bigger sensors, bigger and bigger lenses, and then the camera bump is just going to overtake the whole device. But you know what? I actually wouldn't hate that, because it would be so cool to have an almost mirrorless camera that is also a phone, but relatively thin. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, this is still very, very thin compared to a professional mirrorless camera. It does sort of feel like we're in the end game now. There isn't much further we can go. I think the next stage when it comes to sort of devices and things that we use day to day are going to be things like foldables, AR and VR as well. I think those sorts of things are what is the next step when it comes to sort of smartphones and electronic devices that we use day to day. Not gonna lie though, when they do release the iPhone 15 Pro, and if it does have an even larger camera bump, I'm gonna still buy it. Nothing's gonna stop me because I wanna be able to take the best pictures with my phone. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this long-term review. If you liked it, please subscribe to the channel, follow me on Instagram and Twitter, and thanks for watching.